Hi again, everyone. I hope everyone's all right out there today. We got in the second critique of the screenplay, Better Left Unsaid. As I mentioned to you in my previous couple of blogs, the producer that is interested in the screenplay, into making it a film, he's just finishing up a major film. I guess he's from Montreal, but I guess he's going to LA to release that film, if I'm not mistaken, or at least he's going to LA anyways. I'm not sure just when that film will be done, but when that one's done, I guess he wants to maybe line this one up right after. Anyways, having said that, the second critique came in on the screenplay that was called for by the three of us. He found these writers, so I'm hoping they have a good reputation. We're going to check that out, obviously, before we do proceed. But anyways, having said that, excuse me, this particular critique was done by Matthew Ferguson. Very interesting, and I'll read some points here. The script has original characters and great potential for a high-stakes conflict between them, which is occasionally realized in this draft. There are 7 major events which do provide the bare bones of structure. In this draft, most of the pages are filled with dialogue, which is largely expositional. Aha, see, that's my comment. I still haven't been able to develop character and maybe even enhance story through dialogue as yet. It's something I've got to work on. It's a tough thing to harness, I think. Anyways, he says the next draft will need to reveal more deeply developed characters whose backstories remain subtext in this draft, while their dialogue and actions expose conflict, which needs to be created for each and every scene. Very interesting. And then he goes through and he gives little ideas on character, on structure, and so on as he passes along. He says one thing here. Where is it? Under structure, he says, pardon me. He says, the script is almost built like a love story, which is a good structure that has worked for many genres, including buddy films. It could work well for this story. It is a love story. It's a father and son story, a father and son love story. So at least that got through, which is really good. I'm very pleased with that. I'm happy as all heck with that. Then he goes on and he talks a little more about some of the events, the inciting incident, the end of Act 1, father and son meet, and so on. And basically what he says is that the father and son should meet earlier in the screenplay. That's an interesting aspect to this. I hadn't thought about that. And so maybe that's something that I have to explore. I don't think we'd have to. I think all we'd have to do is change a couple of things, move things around to make that happen. I think it could be pretty easy done, but I'm not sure I want to do that as yet. So we'll have to get into a little bit of a group chat here to figure out if that's what we actually want to do. But he says, interestingly, the son performing on a big stage is satisfying denouement, which could, this is the ending, which could be more meaningful if we understood that this was his clear ambition from the outset of the story. I mean, he thinks the ending is a satisfying denouement, right? But then he says, if this was clear, if this ambition was clear from the outset, that disturbs me a little bit, because I thought it was clear from the outset. Maybe he just didn't pick up on it, so I have to be careful here. But I thought it was clear that Boston wanted in the worst way to be a rock star, right? In fact, the name of this screenplay earlier, one of the working titles was My Beautiful Rock Star. So anyway, a lot to work on now. We've got the 2 critiques in. As I say, we're not going to move ahead on any of these until we decide, which points are well taken and which points may have missed the point. The other thing is, should I make these changes, or should we bring in a co-writer? I'm kind of favoring the latter, but we'll see, okay? All right, enough for now. We'll talk to you again as developments occur. Bye-bye now.